What's up from the Northeast? So I'm finally gonna do a video. I've got some time, so I'm gonna do it. This is my RogueAir Barra 250Z, and the reason I call it the RogueAir Barra is because this thing has had a ton of work to it. Starting off with my full trigger kit. What you see for sale is the basic trigger kit. The full trigger kit requires some modification to the gun and the safety, so I don't sell it because you really got to know what you're doing. This has the RogueAir tactical bolt handle and my full port and polish tune. And the tune that I've been working on is a slug / pellet tune. I wanted to be able to go back and forth between the JTS 22.07 grain pellets and the, I believe these are 22 grain FX hybrids. So they were right around the same grain weight. So I was like, man, if I can pull this off and find a speed where they both shoot well, then it'll be great. Well, I'm happy to say that I've figured it out. So the gun is shooting, I'll post the pictures of the speeds and whatnot, but they are absolutely dead nuts accurate without having to touch the scope turrets at all. They both hit same spot every time. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 mags loaded up of the hybrids and 2 mags loaded up of the JTS dead center pellets, and we're going to do some plinking with both slugs and pellets, and then after we'll go over a little bit more of what I did to the gun. It also has my slug power kit in it, which not only adds power to the gun, but if you are going for a, let's say, medium style tune, it makes the cocking so much lighter because you're not having to put so much hammer pressure on the valve that it makes the cocking really tough. The cocking is super easy on this gun, and with this bolt handle it makes it even easier. And you can run it, I like to keep my hand here and go up with the L of my hand and right back down. So let's get the camera turned around. We'll get it pointed down at the plink pit, and we'll run the hybrids, and then we will run the JTS pellets. All right, let's go. Plink pit set up, painted orange so you guys can see it better. I'm gonna load up some hybrids. I'll also be using the RogueAir magazines. These are low profile mags, and we'll get some close-ups of these after. All right, so we're going to start off with the Redneck Engineering target. We'll go left to right. I am running my Donnie Tonto. And these hybrids hit with some authority. This is 40 yards for those of you that are new to the channel. I'm hoping to cut out some trees so I can move this back a little bit more and maybe get 50 yards. All right, we're gonna move over to the paddle targets to the right. Bottom, now top. Paddle target just behind those. And now we'll go for the really small target that is just off to the right of the first 2 paddle targets. This is a 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch target. Oh yeah. Oh, and that's a mag. All right. We'll load up one more of the hybrids, then I'll have to pause the video, fill the gun, and then we'll go to the pellets. All right, let's go to the dueling tree. Man, I really like to run a bolt. All right, we'll hit the popper. Back to the Redneck No Limits for these last few. And as you can see, the gun's pretty quiet with the Tonto on there. It's pretty mellow. All right, that's all she wrote. All right, let me pause the video, get gassed up, and then we'll come back with the JTS. We're back with the JTS. We'll start on the Redneck Engineering target, same thing, and we'll work our way over. God, I feel like the pellets hit so much harder. All right, working over to the paddles. Paddle behind those. Small spinner. Nicked it. All right, that's a mag. And we'll load up one more mag. We'll go to the dueling tree. Back to the, we'll go back to the really small one again. Oh, that's such a tough one to hit. Last one. Hey! Alright, and we're out. Alright, let's bring you back over and we'll finish talking about the gun, everything I have into it. Alright, well, you saw the accuracy. I can fly through the mag with the bolt and pretty much hit everything I'm aiming at. This is a great gun, guys. This is a great gun at a great price point. You can do a lot with it. There's a few different stock options. The one thing that I really don't understand why they did, especially in the American market, is the buffer tube is not mil spec or standard. It's some unique thread pitch, I'm guessing from an airsoft rifle. I know Barra does some airsoft, so maybe they had some buffer tubes and they were like, hey, let's just use these up, which makes sense from a business standpoint. But from a consumer standpoint, it sucks because there is a ton of buffer tube options in the US. If you're not familiar with the Barra and you're like, where's the air tank? The air tank is here in the air cylinder. Got some dirt on there. It's in the air cylinder, and I believe it's right around 230 cc's of air. It's a 3,600 psi fill. I do go to 4,000. I don't suggest doing that. I do that at my own risk, but I just do. I've got one of my favorite grips on here, my Saber Tactical Vertical. It's got a nice little thumb shelf. It's got a nice little thumb shelf and a nice palm swell, which I really enjoy. It's got a tactical style flat trigger blade, which I'm not too happy with, I guess. I'm not a fan of that style trigger. I like a traditional trigger. Again, the tactical bolt handle, this one's a lot bigger and meatier. It's completely made of steel and it has a carbon fiber sleeve, and it just makes working the bolt so much more enjoyable, especially for me, a guy with big hands. The Donnie Tonto quiets this thing up plenty. For right around 50 foot-pounds, I really can't ask for much more. The Citron 4-12, you guys have seen that on several guns now. I really like this gun, this scope for my plinking guns and my, 75 yard in guns. Is this scope capable of 100, 200, 300? Absolutely, but I have bad eyesight, so I much rather a 10 to 50 style scope if I'm going out to them distances. The trigger kit that I make and do is phenomenal. Out of the box, the trigger, I guess it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Let's not pull any punches. It's pretty bad. But this trigger kit that I do makes it awesome. And definitely the one that's in mine makes it match grade. Very short first stage. Definitive wall and brakes, probably around 10 ounces, maybe less. The issue with this trigger kit is the safety. You can get the trigger down to 1 ounce, but your safety won't function unless you do some machine work to it. I have a method for that, but my safety is in between my ears. So it will pass the bump test. I mean, I can cock the gun and beat on it and it won't go off. But some guys need a safety. It's just better that way if you're at a public range or you're shooting around others. It's just best to have a safety. For me, I shoot alone a lot, so it don't really matter to me. I'll bring you in, and then we'll do a close-up of the gun and how it looks. These are my mags. These are the RogueAir mags. Now, I made these to be extremely low profile and to be able to get you through like a PRS stage. Let me just try to rig that so it closes so you can see. Now, the scope rings I have on this are low. As you see, my bell is almost touching the rail, and the mag has plenty of clearance. These come in 22 and 25. I don't have any yet, still doing the prototype, but let's bring you over and we'll do a walkthrough of the gun. So this is my RogueAir Barra 250Z, Saber Tactical Grip, the RogueAir bolt handle, and I really like that bolt handle. I think it adds a lot of aesthetic to the gun. The Citron with low rings, trying to keep that scope bell as close as I can to the barrel to spare turret. You do have some M-lock in here, so you can add weights or a bipod. I added a rail here. I really wish they would have kept this stock lineal and all, you know, not have this dip here. You know, so you could have added a long arc rail. I am working on an aftermarket stock for this. I was trying to work on barrels, but I'm running into some hiccups as Lothar Walther is not mass producing a 28-inch Lothar Walther barrel, so you can't really get them. This gun requires a 27.5-inch barrel, so I would need a 28-inch Lothar Walther to have it machined down to fit this gun. But I am working on some aftermarket barrels. I don't really want to get into detail about it, but just know that the barrels are going to be dope. That's my Donnie Tonto. All right, let's pause the video and we'll wrap this up. All right, guys. Yeah, I really like this gun, and for the money, it's pretty hard to beat. The only other gun really like it is the FX-DRS, and it is almost 3 times the price tag. Is it more refined? Absolutely. We all know FX is great guns. They have supreme accuracy, match grade triggers out of the box. You really don't have to do much to them besides pull it out, clean your barrel, fill it up with air, and shoot it, right? But for me, and I know a lot of you that watch my channel, you enjoy modifying guns, right? So if we can buy them cheap, or cheaper rather, and, you know, toss a bunch of modifications at them and really make them our own, that's what we're going to do. That's what I enjoy. I just enjoy building them. I've spoke about this before. There was a long period, a few years, where I just grew to despise working on air guns. I just didn't want to do it anymore. I absolutely hated it. Not because I couldn't do it or I wasn't capable of working on my guns. I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I didn't want to do it anymore to the point where I would send my guns out. I wouldn't just send them out to anybody. You know, there are certain individuals that I trust with my guns, and I don't know. I just don't trust my gun to anybody. I'm not just going to send my gun to anybody. I really have to know them, have seen their work, and there is a lot of great airgun tuners out there. I could name them all, but I'm obviously, you know, we're short for time. But you know, there's a lot of them. But yeah, man, if you want to get a Barra, I got mine through High Pressure Pneumatics. You can get yours through High Pressure Pneumatics, or if you have a favorite store that carries Barra, you can go through them. I prefer to go through Tom and Janine. They're a small business, husband and wife duo that I've grown to be quite fond of. So I do my shopping through them. Yeah, so there's a little shameless plug for them. Shout out Tom and Janine at High Pressure Pneumatics. But if you want to see more on this gun stock, head over to Warren Carter's channel, Air Shootist. He just did a review on the gun, bone stock out of box. I think he's shooting pellets right now, and then he's going to do a slug review, and then possibly him and I are going to collaborate on something, and I'm going to send him a bunch of stuff for his gun to put it together. You can get this Barra trigger kit at highpressurepneumatics.com, or you can get them through me. My email is in my bio if you want to reach out to me and talk. I also offer full port and polish tunes for the gun, where I put in my trigger kit, we can put in a slug kit, I can open the block for you, I can tune it for pellets or slugs or both, like mine here. I am working on a 25 caliber right now. I've got it apart. I finally have all the parts together, so I'll be putting that together soon, and we'll get a review on that, or a kind of review, right? There's so many good airgun channels that do like these in-depth reviews, like AEAC, Airgun Exploration channel, Steve Shalley. He's one of the best. I mean, let's keep it real. He is the best. When it comes to in-depth reviews, that is the guy. You know, I'm not going to go into detail like he is and show you how to fill the gun, and you know, he just really does a good job. So we'll let Steve do the reviews, and I'm just gonna talk about what I do and do some plinking. Hopefully soon we'll do some hunting videos, and I'm really hoping to hit a 1,500 yard range real close to my house and make my dream come true and ring steel at 1,000+ yards with an air rifle. But that's all I got today, guys. I hope you all are killing it at life. I hope God blesses you all and your families, and I hope everything you need in this life comes to fruition. Don't be greedy. Love one another. Take care of each other. I'm out. Later.